Writer, traveler, and blogger Jeff Goins says, "It's far more likely that someone will travel first and then come back to achieve great things, like secure a graduate degree, fantastic job, start a new career, etc., rather than the reverse." So, if you pursue a graduate degree or a career first, it's highly unlikely that after you attain those things, you're going to get your chance to travel like you'd be able to travel now when you're young. We also all know that what we do in our youth becomes habit for what we do when we're older in life. That's why we're told to do things like eat healthy, be responsible with your money, exercise more, learn compassion for others. All those things are great things, but those are all, our sense of adventure is the same thing. That's something we want to develop when we're younger, when we still have time. It's something we want to become a habit. If we travel now, our experiences will be something that will improve our lives for a lot of different reasons. One of those reasons why you should travel young, is it develops your sense of compassion and expands your worldview. For me, I did 2 months of traveling in Brazil with a team of people, and one of the things that we did is we worked with a program that worked with young girls in the river communities. These young girls, it was their culture to get married as soon as they were able to, 13, 14, 15, because it's the only way they thought they could provide food for themselves, is to get married and have a husband that could give them food. And this program taught them basic skills for working. So they taught them how to work a cash register, so they'd go to a store and start getting a job. And before you knew it, after working with these girls in this program, a lot of them were realizing that they don't have to get married right away, that they can dream bigger besides finding a good husband. So a lot of them started believing that they could do things like become a lawyer or a model or a doctor. And it was just amazing because we worked with them, we did workshops with them, and we taught them things like bracelet making and photography and English and dance and just a bunch of fun things to give these girls hope that there is something they can do. And for me, it was such a unique experience to use the skills that I had in order to pour into and bless these girls who otherwise wouldn't know how to do some of these things. So for me, that really expanded my worldview and what it meant to live in a different place in life, in a different place in this world. Another great reason to travel while you're young is that future employers love to see that you've traveled. Organizational psychologist Jill Christine says that overseas travel is a real benefit for job seekers with limited work experience. Job seekers with limited work experience are people usually who have just left high school or just left college and really haven't had much job experience besides maybe working at a restaurant or working in a small store somewhere. And she says, Jill says, having interviewed numerous candidates over the years to gauge initiative and preparedness to step outside their comfort zone, I asked them, the job seekers, about significant challenges they had to overcome whilst traveling overseas. It tells me a lot about who they are, their character, and their ability to problem solve. So when you travel, you're going to run into things that you didn't expect to run into, and that builds your character, and it builds your ability to problem solve. And it's a great thing for future employers to see on your resume. Another great thing about traveling when you're young is actually there's a lot of health reasons for it. And like we said before, learning to travel when you're young is something that's going to carry over when you're older and your sense of adventure will be there. And these health reasons will be just as good for now when you're younger as when you're older too. And Travel Montana says, travelers rate their overall health 1 full point higher, a scale of 1 to 5, while on vacation. They also got 3 times more deep sleep after their vacation and sleep almost 20 minutes longer after their vacation. I love sleep, so the idea of that makes me very happy. Alright, so we have a lot of good reasons why we should travel, but we're still poor college students who've either just left high school or are in college right now. But there are actually a lot of different ways we can travel that are easy on the budget. There's a lot of gap year programs out there if you feel like taking another year out of your college experience to travel. They allow you to immerse yourself in a language or a culture somewhere that you're not used to. I would recommend looking up CIEE.org, and they have a whole wide range of places you can go to travel, anywhere from Sweden to Malaysia. There's another program that I worked with called Youth with a Mission, or YWAM, and I did all of my traveling outside of the U.S. for 3 years with them. And they were great for me because I was able to travel, which is something that I love, and I was also given training in missionary work. So it's a great option for people who have a passion for something else, like missions work and traveling. And there's more programs than YWAM out there for something like that. And also most colleges provide an option for you to do a semester abroad if that's something you'd like to do. Also, in the U.S., there's plenty of places to go that's just as good as traveling outside the U.S. if you really want to travel but just can't find a way to gather the money. There's a lot of diverse cultures within cities, and there's great camping places if you just feel like being out in nature. So the U.S. is always a good option. Just buy a train ticket, buy a bus ticket, just go somewhere if that's what you want to do. Also, another option for traveling is contact me. I'm great at finding budget tickets. This summer I'm going on a vacation to California for a week, all for under $400, including airfare, so I'd say I'm a pro at it. So yeah, feel free to contact me if you want help on finding plane tickets or bus tickets or whatever you want. So I'm going to show you some pictures from when I traveled, because for me, what inspired a lot of my traveling was seeing other people's experiences, like on Facebook and stuff like that. So this is me in Brazil. This is one of the girls we worked with. This isn't one of the river community girls, but this is one of the indigenous girls. She was actually a princess of one of the tribes. It was a lot of fun. You could tell by the necklace that she's wearing. All the girls that were princesses had these beautiful shell necklaces that take years to make, and that's what identified them as the princess of the tribe. This is me and my team. We're going down the road. We're actually about to go work with some of the river community girls. This was one of my favorite days in Brazil. Most of my pictures I'm going to show you are of Brazil because it was my favorite experience. I've spent the shortest time in Brazil, but I loved it the most. This is me in Quebec at a cafe there. It was my first cup of coffee that I actually ever enjoyed, and from there on out I became strongly addicted to coffee, but it was really good. This is in Mexico, a camping trip we went on, and we went there for 4 days and just sort of were out in the wilderness with some tents and some bacon. It was a good time. This is also in Brazil. This is Sugarloaf Mountain, which is a very famous spot. It's pretty close to the Christ Redeemer, the big statue of Jesus going like this. So we spent the day hiking around the mountain. I don't think we were supposed to be up on that rock, but we went up there anyway because it was cool. And this was in Rio too. We stayed at a hostel where it was so cool. So we were pretty much on the main road where all like the main shopping was, really close to Copacabana Beach. And then you go into the hostel, and the very back of it, you go straight up into a mountain, and you feel like you're not even in like the main part of Rio. And in the morning, monkeys would come down, and you could feed them little pieces of banana, and they'd eat them from your hand. This was also in Brazil. We helped clean out a pond for the people that were working there. They wanted to make it a clean swimming pool, but I found out after I'd finished cleaning it that an electric eel lived in there. I was a little upset because it didn't tell me. So yeah, those are some of my pictures from my time of traveling. For me, traveling gave me a lot of direction in what I want to study in college. Without my 3 years, I wouldn't know what God was calling me to. Well, I think God would have told me eventually what He wanted me to do, or He would have directed me to the place I'm at now, but I wouldn't be able to boast of all the adventures that I've had and all the great times, and I just wouldn't be the same person I am today. I'm going to end my speech with a quote that I found very inspiring, that I hope will inspire you to travel too. While you're young, you should travel. You should take time to see the world and taste the fullness of life. Spend an afternoon sitting in front of Michelangelo, walk the streets of Paris, climb Kilimanjaro, hike the Appalachian Trail, see the Great Wall of China, get your heart broken by the killing fields of Cambodia, swim through the Great Barrier Reef. These are moments that define the rest of your life. They are experiences that stick with you forever. Traveling will change you like little else can. It will put you in places that will force you to care for issues that are bigger than you. You will begin to understand that the world is both very large and very small. You will have a newfound respect for pain and suffering, have seen that 2/3 of humanity struggle to simply get a meal each day. While you're still young, get cultured. get to know the world, the magnificent people that fill it. The world is a stunning place full of outstanding works of art. See it. You won't always be young, and life won't always be just about you. So travel, young person. Experience the world for all it's worth. Become a person of culture, adventure, and compassion while you still can. Thanks.